Hi guys, welcome back. Now, in this video, I'm going to share with you a function callback. Yeah, function callback. Now, let's create a new file. I'm going to save this as test03. All right. Okay, I want to show you something today. Let me call it the function. Okay. Let me say we have a function x plus y, and this is going to return x plus y. All right, this is a pretty straightforward function. Okay, you know that we can actually call it, by putting some numbers, and we should get the answer. Yeah. Now, there's actually, interestingly, there's one way we can actually have a kind of like a function pointer, point to add. Yeah, and then we can replace this with this, and your program will work. So in other words, we have a reference, a pointer reference. So this guy is actually pointing to this guy, and we can just use it as if the add function is this guy. Now, so many people doesn't understand why do we want to do this at the first place. We can just call add, right? So let me show you another example. Let's imagine I have a function. I call it display. So I put in any display value here. I will display it. Okay, so this is basically the idea of a display function. So how does this work is that we call an add. Okay, we put in the numbers that we want, and we say that, okay, when you're done, got the results, pass it into this display function, and this display function will return the result. Okay, you can see it's 45 now. Okay, so let's see how do we use a callback. Now in this case, callback, what we can do is that we can do a display function here. We can say, okay, let's pass in the display function here, and then I said that when you're done, you call this display function. Okay, you can see, yeah. So I'm not going to change this one. What happened here is when I call the add function, there are 3 parameters, okay, that I need to put in. In this case, I'm going to put in display. Now you can see that this time, I'm not going to put the curly bracket. I'm actually referencing, okay, this guy to this function. So when you call this display function, basically is this guy. Yeah, you can see the answer is now displayed through this function. Now this is basically an example of callback. We put in a function, and when this guy is done with the operation, it will actually call the functions that we actually put in. Yeah. So of course, as of this point, this is a very simple idea of a callback, but not many people don't really see the purpose of this. So let me show you the purpose of this. Okay, show you another example. When do we actually use this? Okay, let me show you an example. We call it a function. Okay, a function. All right. So this function, I'll just do it a very simple one. Now you can think of this function like doing something, any other operation, that just display. You can write a lot of codes inside here, do your calculation, right? Now there are times that we can actually do some another thing called set time. I want to show you set time out. It's a typical example to show callback. Now timeout basically is a function where you can delay some operation, like a certain amount of time. In this case, I will put 3000 milliseconds, which is equivalent to 3 seconds. I said after 3 seconds later, please do this. Please execute or invoke this a function. Okay, so let me run it and see. You can see I executed, it won't have the result immediately, but 3 seconds later, I can see the hello world, it triggers this. All right, so this is basically the idea of callback. You can imagine that this could be a mouse click, okay, some other operation running asynchronously. So you want this function to let you know when they are done. Basically, this is how we do it. Right? We need a function callback. Now I want to show you a little bit more on this one. To understand this, you can see that this whole function, maybe sometimes it's just only not going to use elsewhere, and we are using it only for once. Okay, so we can just copy and paste and replace it here. And let me show you. I can run it again. you realize that, yeah, it's the same. We just need this function to do this work once, and it's unique. It's not going to be shared by others. Yeah, why not? Why want to separate them? And again, if you see carefully, this is actually not of use at all. I mean, I can still have the function, without any name. What's the point of having an identifier? So you can actually remove it, yeah, especially when you are doing a callback. So now let me turn this into a line, single line, and you will start to see that this is also pretty redundant, yeah. So we can delete them. So over the years, JavaScript introduced this lambda, yeah, to actually make the whole thing much simpler. So if you want to do a callback like what we did earlier, you can of course use the longer way, but this is important because you see many people doing this nowadays. To do a callback, basically it triggers this, and if there is only one single line to do, many of them would even omit this curly bracket. So oops, sorry, and it will still work, yeah. So this is what we call anonymous function written in a way, lambda. So you don't have to do too much of the declaration work. Basically, you just tell that, okay, now this is a function, please trigger it 3 seconds later. So I hope this will give you a very good idea of callback. And now we also learn another new thing, which is the kind of arrow notation. Yeah, and it actually exists in also other programming language. We just call them lambda. Yeah. All right, so that's all for today. So if you have any question, please remember to let me know. Thank you very much. See you in the next video.